Hello, hi Mariela, how are you?
Good, fine, thank you.
Nice to see you and thank you for joining this call. I'm Harish, founder and growth content specialist here at CrawlQ.ai.
Thank you, Harish. I saw a video in YouTube about your project.
Great to see you, and I hope for next half an hour I can give you quick tour of the tool.
Thank you.
So let me share my screen. So when you obviously redeem the code, you will get your login details and credentials. And once you are into this interface, what I'm going to cover most is the why we are working with this fundamental framework. Standard operating procedure, you can call it like military-like procedure, where you start with market research, and then we try to understand who are our competitors and how to differentiate from those competitors. Having this true information is still not enough because you might be following this. Search engines are now more like an answering machine, right? People go there and they just don't type keywords or even 2 3 sentences, but they are really typing their exact pain points, problems that they have, and trying to think the search engine is a perfect solution for the many questions that they have, right? So that's why it's very important that your website is not showing top of the awareness content, but really going into the deep domain and going into the in-depth of the semantics and psychographics of your target audience. And in order to understand that, you really have to start from market research and understand your competitors, but also what kind of topics that you are targeting on your website is very important, because in any kind of content automation is garbage in, garbage out. You put garbage in, you get garbage out. That's where we want to avoid this situation. And we want to have full human control in the beginning to lay out the foundation. And this foundation must be very strong. It must be our business strategy. It must be our
Totally agree.
content strategy. And then we are sort of feeding this information into this automation process. And obviously, depending on our use case, if you're a marketer, if you're a content writer, if you're data driven growth hacker, for example, or if you are non-tech founder, you can apply still the same framework, but maybe getting a help or assistance from different people. That's why this tool is more positioned towards a team and not like one single member. But you can add your team members, you can have multiple projects, and that's making it different from the other tools out there where you can just pull some keywords, sentences, and write the whole blog. But in the end, when you are really talking about in-depth topic, because the algorithms can perform well maybe on the popular niches, right? Popular topics like weight loss, food, or nutrition. But when it really comes to the specifics of your target audience, you have to be really, really deep diving into the pain points, the problems, the roadblocks, the suspicions, what kind of different aspects which are as parameters of your target audience. And you need to solve this puzzle from two ways, that you have an perfect understanding of who are your target audience, but at the same time you also have an understanding like how and what kind of questions your target audience are asking, not necessarily to the search engine, but also you can find it out with interviews or with direct talking to them. And this fundamental two-way mutual understanding of you having a good deep dive into the target audience, and you also have a feeling like how these people are searching you, that will be perfect starting point to any content project, website development project. And this is all about bringing your business strategy and content strategy together. Try to fundamentally build upon that, the any kind of automation process that you wanted to achieve in the end. So we start with market research, we competitors, and how to differentiate from them. It's important because if we understand our target audience, and if we don't know how our competitors are serving similar kind of value or solving similar kind of pain points through their services and products, we're still not going to be creating value, because the value will be considered only when it is differentiated. So the content has to be value. That's why it's important to understand the competitors from different perspective: direct competition, organic competition, URL to URL.
Understanding perfectly what you are saying. I study marketing, just to let you know a bit what knowledge I
Sure.
have.
Yeah.
So I don't have technical knowledge. I have more marketing knowledge. And I did an e-commerce the last year in Shopify with selling toys. And my value was that I also sell well-being. Thinking in what, so I just don't sell toys. I sell an experience of well-being, family well-being, children well-being, and all this mental health prevention. That was the topic. But obviously, I didn't get too far, obviously, because later I realized I need SEO and I need all of that. So I more or less changed my strategy. So I still have the shop and I sell by SEO very slowly. And I decide to start one new project, which is the cool marketing. And I'm going to be getting deep in all of this SEO, but also content strategic. And I will be at some point offering service. I
Right.
still going to keep my business because I think my way to try things, so I can try myself, I can learn and I can teach. And I have a third project, which is going to be content creation, just content creation.
Right.
So the idea will be to learn, understand, and totally agree, knowing, coming from marketing, that the competence is, and I have a ton of tools, Harish, but none of one taking account the competence as you.
Right.
So, because I think this is myself, when I think, okay, I want to sell toys, how the others are selling toys, I don't know how they are doing.
Right.
It's very, very just superficial. So you are a person who are doing it deep, and I really like it.
Sure. So good to hear that. Since you just mentioned different projects, so you can create different project, well-being, toy, and blogging content on
Yeah.
another theme of the well-being. You can attach each of these projects to either one domain or multiple domain. So I start with one project that I created, and it was my area of B2B content automation. That was my example project. My team members here. But the main point that I want to really jump into this information factory. So we start with market research and resonance, and it's a kind of information factory where what we are really doing is, as I explained before you, any kind of AI automation is like garbage in, garbage out, right? So we don't want to get a lot of leeway or give up a lot of human control in the beginning to the tools and automations so that we lose control later. So in the beginning, we want to have full control on the user inputs, on the validations of what we are inputting there in those kind of automation tools. So here this kind of information factory which we are going to build from scratch, like, or I'm not saying from scratch, because you have starting examples. So I'm going to define what's my niche. In this niche, I have information vector. I can pre-fill this within, let's say, one example, and I have a specific way how it should be written so that later we can use it as an intelligent prompt, because I'll tell you what is prompt. So a lot of these algorithms, and we are talking about OpenAI or Microsoft or any kind of this automation using machine learning, it still need and controlled and validated inputs, and collect this in a very structured and controlled way. Then you can design more intelligent way how to feed to these tools, and then it gives you more controlled and more better and highly optimized result which you need for your target audience. And this way it will give us full control to build that thing into it. On the other side, let's say if you just start with a topic without understanding like who are your target audience, what specific pain points you're addressing, you might come out generic text from this tool or from this algorithm, which still doesn't make sense, and you might have wasted a lot of time in it. So hard work, of course, is involved. It's a human control in the beginning, but then it's going to get us a lot of benefits in the end because we have full control on the information. So here we go into quite detail, like see my target audience, B2B SaaS founders, in a specific tech SaaS founders, Within that, I am targeting B2B sales and marketing SaaS founders. Within that, I am having a vertical. My ideal prospect is Fred, who is married, 37-year-old tech founder, something
Wow.
like this. It's a kind of very detailed information where you are saying how you identify yourself with your niche, how you define common characteristic with your niche. Here we are talking about psychographics, like what is the single big emotional payoff that our service or tool going to solve. So for example, here, a single big shocking statement we start. We have emotional payoff. We are addressing a single big desire of our target audience. So,
This is
so
pure marketing, deep marketing and technology married together.
yeah. So that's the whole idea here. So we deep dive into the information factory. We build
Mm-hmm.
the information that is really needed for us as a starting point. But you may ask me like, hey, this is so much information. How I'm going to fill this up myself? I need some help. So here's some kind of assistance and wizards are there. So for example, here, if I'm writing, my target audience is marketers like you, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for some blog or article on content marketing. So then I will start from top level and I will narrow it down. So I will narrow it down depending on the my specific knowledge that I will do. You can do it also with your team. So it's not, you need not to be expert market research into it. You can
Mm-hmm.
also start doing it with your team. So
Mm-hmm.
you will start like seeing trending topics. You can narrow it down. So what are these are topics which are trending in the search? People are asking these questions. So
Mm-hmm.
you start from top, but you can
Mm-hmm.
really immediately narrow it down. And then since I told you that we start with content marketing as a one topic because I didn't know like where to explore. So I picked like one trending topic, which is let's say content marketing goals. Now I'm going into deep diving into this. So content marketing goals FAQ, content marketing goals benefit, desires, questions, different websites, and I'm going to click one of these. So it's not like we are doing magic here, but we it is taking us to some search pages, and then here we are going to develop more deeper understanding of our topic. So to be honest, it's not something magic here, but what is happening here is we are starting with broad topic, narrowing down and giving you a framework to deep dive into the problem and pain points so that you can fill this information factory. You could have done it without this also, it's not necessary, but it's a kind of assistance. Then you can go through like podcast and directories. So you can go to the social media, search Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn. You can perform video search. You can go to news sites, Medium, Bing, Yahoo, News Trends, Google News. This is a kind of data mining that you can do. Not, you don't need to be expert for this. It's just providing you some over the layer, top of the layer reference point, like where to
Mm-hmm.
look for this information. Start taking notes, saving them. I would do also the same if I'm working with my team. We start a new project, new website. We will identify this, what is my pain point, what are the different aspects of the information that I should have. And this is same exercise we are doing, but using the tool, right? So you can go
Got
through
it.
books, product reviews. There are several things here. Also, on the next step, you can also go through, let's say, search intent. So as I said in the beginning, is you are trying to know what are the pain points of your target audience, what problem solution statement you have, how you will
Mm-hmm.
position yourself. But also you need to understand like what questions those people might have in order to find your product and services. So there's a kind of two-way understanding of these ideal people, and this again will help you to further narrow down, get that understanding and the control as a being person and as a researcher. This kind of knowledge tool, you can start from like interacting or playing around with this. But it's a
Mm-hmm.
simple kind of a tree diagram where you can start with different questions. So which, what, why, can, and you if you click one of the node, it will give you those questions like what can content marketing be used for, when creating video marketing content on a budget, what is first thing you should do. So it's already giving you a lot of questions that the people in your area, in your market is asking. to either to search engine or to wiki or to other places. And it's really good tool for you to narrow down your information factory here. So what kind of promise you're making to your target audience, how you're writing this promise, like from state one to state two, this is transformation, this is the benefit. This is kind of like helping tool to understand. And armed with this information, you can go to, let's say, try, because still this is not enough. As I said in the beginning, you need to really understand who are your competitors. So here, for example, if you know the two URLs, you can compare two URLs together. Like I need to just demo it like this, but you can do product to product, landing page to landing page. You can also fill the text here, like the text from the other page and your page. So here we are comparing two different, I put accidentally same URL, but you can compare two URL, yours versus competitors, or one competitor versus other competitors. You can say readability, reading time, reading it, word count, sentiments, kind of this similar on the other article, like what are the topics, what are the main topics which are coming in this article. So you're comparing yourself versus competitors. You get summary of that page. You get more detailed text and analysis. Still, this is a good tool to get deep into the understanding of the competitors out there. B is a direct competitor. You can also fill those competitor like one domain, second domain. You will type here website name, HTTPS, blah, 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 HTTPS second. You can press the button. It will give you a lot of analysis on the readability, sentiment, summary of the text, and it will give you like a starting point. Like if you understand your target audience, you understand what question they're asking, still you need to be differentiating from rest of the crowd there. So it will further narrow it down your research. So still we are into the research mode. Next step that we can in this process is to this is the next step, but very, very important step to review what we have done so far. So if you have a starting project, of course, you would still like to understand what your competitors and how they are structuring their topics. But if you have already existing website, you also want to find out like where your topics coverage are like good, and where which are the pages on which you don't have a good topic coverage. And you also want to understand if you are semantically coherent in writing these topics. So let me take some example. So this works on the website on the domain. So here there are different features. It's overview, topic clusters. So it provides us clusters of the whole information. Like this is topic one, this topic two, topic three. You can interact and play around with the visualization. Here it will say what are the dominant topics in my website per URL. Then it will also give a list of URLs where your topic coverage is thin, means you need to write more content and cover that topic more. Because the whole why we are doing this, because you can create a great blog post, but if you are putting on that website and that website is not creating a consistent content strategy or topic clusters, still you're not going to get the results. Your users will come on that website and still they will be getting lost, because they find one very good article, very good piece of information, but when they start looking and interacting with your website, they won't be able to get most about it because they get lost. Now I'm still practicing this with the clients, and applying this framework. Not necessarily I got myself time to apply on myself, but the whole idea is you can understand as a marketer that it's not one single blog post that matters. What matters is like when you're putting content clusters, your whole website should be giving a very consistent signal to search engine, but also to your users, that the content are semantically created.
Agree.
So this gives me like a dashboard. So I gave some score on this particular website, and the score is low because the content that is created are not like consistent, or the structure of the content is not like it's bad example where the page is not showing consistent clusters of the content.
I can do that for my competence as well.
Yeah, you can do it for your competitors as well. But here you will see like how the different words are coming together. What are the top 10 URLs which are giving me high score on those topics. So these are the blocks on this website and giving me high score. But the idea is clear, like what we want to achieve here. So here is a visualization where you can interact. So you see this topic 1, topic 2, topic 3. You can also like explore this diagram here. So you start with next topic, this topic 1, this is topic 2, this is topic 3, topic 4.
I love it.
You can play around with this parameter. So when we are 0, that means all these bars that all these topics that you see are individual within the topic itself. So this topic 1 is, for example, about semantic, SEO. But when we make it to 1, that means that this topic 1 in relation to the whole website, how it is behaving. So it's an interactive way to understand different topic clusters on your website. And imagine that all these circles are overlapping to each other. That's a bad, because then you are saying same thing but in a different context. Imagine that only there is a big circle here and all of them are like small dots. That means also that you're too dominant with only one single topic and you have not created a consistent structure around it. You can get some insights on your website how these different
For example, my main topic could be children or toys, and the second topic could be one or another, but I can talk about alimentation, growing up, about math. I get it. So, but always about toys and children's, like a main second topic.
in the connected way. So you have pillar topic, and then in the interconnected way, you are developing a topic which gives your user a holistic understanding about your authority or about your content with the deep knowledge into that. And the search algorithms are also behaving in the same way as users. So they want to try and bucket you in a specific cluster. And then they really process this information as if they are real human users. So these kind of visualizations gives you some kind of interactive tool to understand how this is done currently. It's not like going to significantly make quick change, but it will give you tooling and data to analyze and improve it. So still in this process, we did market research, we understand our competitors, we know what is our website, how we are targeting topic. Even if we don't have website, it's important how our competitors are doing this. It gives us some solid understanding. And now, since we have this three information, we can feed this information into content automation process. Now you can ask me, content can be automated in several ways. You can start with pre-set scripts of landing pages, video scripts. You can start with headline scripts. So these scripts can give you a starting point where you can just fill in this pre-filled example and generate a script which makes like an automated generated script for you. And you can use this. Let me take some more examples. So if we are writing, let's say, headlines, there are a couple of bunch of headline scripts here with different aspects. So desire focused headline, benefit roadblock enemy headline, buyer persona benefit desire hurdle headline. So these headlines capture the essential aspect of how to capture the information from our market research that we did. And you can fill it with an example. So this is a pre-formulated example which you can just alter, but we are also trying as much as possible that we map the information from original market research that you did, and these are auto-filled here, so that you don't have this again bias or thing, because you have done the hard work in the first step. So most of the information is getting mapped back here. You can press the button and then of course you get this bunch of headlines. And now we can still use this headline to pass into automation process like a blog structure creation or headline, sub-headline creation using the algorithms, like you might have heard about people using GPT-3 as an algorithm. And that's where we get the control. So we can use this script also as an input. We can summarize an existing URL, text, competitor, or we can take one URL and create a summary out of it. So these sometimes very important because you want to quickly understand or get the importance, like the context, like less words. So I think this is obvious where you wanted to summarize some information, text. Here you wanted to rewrite that information. So for example, I have this page. It can be a social media post. It can be an existing content landing page. It can be any other information that you wanted to rewrite it. So let's say this is a small example, and you wanted to switch on the domain specific terminology. Why this is important? Because any kind of spinning by an AI algorithm can create something different terminology that is not used in your business. So because we did market research, we collected some keywords, specific items. So it will help us to stay on the track, and it will not deviate from the information that we have. When you rewrite, it will give me another text which is 96.64% similar, semantically similar with the original text. It will also give me what are the emotional words, power words that I have used and further enhance this. This is very useful when you're writing short social media post or very specific small snippet which might drive a lot of sales oriented content or catch audience attention. Then you can still optimize this small text using these kind of power words, emotional words. So that was the whole idea about not only giving you a rewriting tool, but also switching on the domain specific terminology that we captured from the market research. Then here it comes the AI content writer, where some things are still like we're integrating, like the way we want to create outline, a good outline of the blog using OpenAI's API. But we almost developed. We want to just integrate. Will be available in day or two. But I can already like give you this output which I started. So I started main keyword with content automation. It created a specific outline for me, and then I can go through these different resources. So when I'm writing a blog, automation trends in 2021, it crawled me information from different sources. It restructured the information in terms of different headlines, sub headlines. I get here different starting paragraphs that I can use. So these are the paragraphs, and maybe like I started filling in the structure. So let's say I'm here. This is my second headline. I find this text quite relevant. Paragraphs also ordered in the relevancy. So if you would have gone, let's say, to the source like enterpriseproject.com to this website, and you have read this specific article, you won't find this in the same order. But since we started with this topic, content automation trend in 2021, we have in the background reorder the paragraph and assign it like some based on some score where this paragraph comes first. So it helps you in the understanding the content and writing it faster or getting all the information at one place faster, because otherwise you will be going to 10 different sources trying to understand it, maybe bringing it to another document, reading it and implementing it here. But here, just by looking at paragraph, you can start filling the information. You can also rewrite it slightly in a different way just with the press of the button, and you can take this information and start filling this up. So this is your one iteration. Then you will go into second iteration, and then you will look for different types of topics that are covered by your competitors, like how much average time they mention, and then you start incorporating those topics also while you rewrite some of these paragraphs. And then you will see that your topic score is evolving. We want to get it to 100 so that all the topics that our competitors are talking on the content automation trend in 2021, we have also covered this. So this is the usefulness of this idea. So you have the topic coverage, you have the paragraphs you got, you also got here
Questions.
time is difficult, depend on the topic, because it become a bit difficult topic, but you get maybe on the popular topics like toys, kids, or those the questions from the Quora and other places. Here you can get product reviews from like say Product Hunt or other places. But this is a lot of information, and we are adding consistently, like we will add statics, news. Also, we will implement different use cases of GPT-3 algorithm to give you more data-driven documents. So we have a lot
Mm-hmm.
of ideas here to further evolve this editor in the way which gives you a lot of ability to create a research-oriented content. So power it with the use cases that are out there of the GPT-3. For example, I would love to explore how we can create an optimal structure of the blog outline. This is one use case. Next step, we are trying to play around with it and say we start some mentioning some statics that we know. For example, like toys and age of the kids and this percentage of this and that, and we fill this information, and then the algorithm gives us more richer stats that we can out from the references. Also, we are trying to get if we can get original research references, so we can put in your article. So that's what we have the idea, and also developing some plagiarism checkers, so we can implement
Another
another
important,
thing.
yeah.
So obviously this will evolve. Then I think this was the whole part of the content automation. This feature don't want to go into detail, but again, is helping you once you have created the content. Again, you want to go to data and queries from Google Search Console, and then you
Mm-hmm.
want to use this information also in optimizing it further. So that's what this feature is all about. Then coming back to popular SEO that everyone talks, right? Here our positioning of the tool is not to become like a SEO tool, but
Mm-hmm.
still the idea that we started, that we wanted to do the market research, we want to understand our competitors, we wanted to understand the topic structures, we want to feed it into content automation. But there are certain best practices, there are certain things that if we take care, then we are not going to carry a leaky bucket. Suppose, for example, there are some best practices on the semantic side, like if you take care of the few factors. Let me get into some details, like what kind of still your website total topics, readability, reading ease, are these content are difficult to read, fairly difficult. So you have some good oversight on your website, content length, reading time, external URL, internal URL, sentences count, image count. Then you can get into different content types that you are targeting on your website, sentiments. The most important is like how search engine might understand your website, and maybe also
Mm-hmm.
user also. So here you get some visualization. Hey, some pages are orphan, they are not linked. We see some clear concentration of a cluster, then they are interlinked with together, or these are individual clusters where more topics or pages are linked. Well, you can still see and try to optimize it. Ideally, the structures that I have observed is sometimes this graph is very random, so it is not showing me some consistent pattern, and that is a bit worrisome for me, because then neither the Google bot nor the user really understand the flow of the information.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when you have a very specific circular pattern but not really showing me specific clusters, and the linkage is still some kind of a structure which doesn't really help. But imagine if I have like four main pillar posts, consciously consistently link all this information to those pillar posts, then I'm going to get really good structure. So I'm not saying that this is the best structure out there, but it gives you a visual tool, get further understanding. I'm sure the algorithms that Google are using are very sophisticated. So not that you're trying to 100% engineer or over engineer it, but still you have some references to work on it. Similarly, the performance of your website on different devices is important. Like any other SEO tool, it will provide you loading time and some advantages that you can have by removing some CSS, JavaScript, those kind of technical things. Backlinks are important. I'm writing here coming soon, but it's already there. We had some problem with the production, so we didn't ship this today. But here what we are trying to achieve is not like pulling the database of the backlink, but really looking at your page, like crawling it, and also the backlink that is connected, and then processing the text and then creating a metric like how similar this content is. So the simple idea here is, if your content from your page and where you are getting link, they are, let's say, 5% similar, then we are assuming that this is acquired naturally. So it's a starting point, right? In a very simple way, some measure for us to get understanding. Obviously, Google might have more sophisticated way to understand it, but their starting point is also looking at the in a simple way, comparing the text and using some mathematical way to translate that information into a formula, create a metric, and then penalize these links, right? So that's the same way we are using it. We can make it more sophisticated, but we want to just explain it to users like why this link could be a bad link, and then you can evaluate if it's a bad link. Because anything where scores are less than 5% or zero, that means the text that you have on your landing page and the text that is linked are not interrelated. They're completely different apart. And it can happen, of course, in the natural, in the way where you acquire links, but Google expect you to acquire this link in a natural way. And you want to have some metric where you can assess it. It's not like 100% scientific method, but it gives you some starting point. Then in the new SEO, I call it, the schemas are getting important, because here you want, when you write articles, FAQs, product, or you're writing about a person specific, then you wanted to give more structured data to search engine. And since we have done some work in the beginning, idea for us is here automatically populate a lot of information. Of course, we are not yet there, but here you can also simply fill some information and use this code snippet, put it in your pages. These are all for technical guys, they can handle it. And we
For
just
me, I'm not a developer, so that's very helpful for me. So
yeah,
I put the right information and you give me the
yeah,
code to put
yeah.
it in the code.
Indeed, indeed. So just for the sake of completion, we wanted to go ahead with this feature. Of course, it's a heavy burden on this tool to collect all the information, analyze it. But we thought maybe let's try it and see how far we go into it. But obviously, we are not trying to be in the market and say that we are competing with SEMrush or Ahrefs. It's just like an additional tool with some different aspects that are captured, which might not be there in the SEMrush, like readability, sentiments. It also covers what SEMrush could cover, for example. So you don't might need to have the tool, but it doesn't. If you wanted to use different tools, why not? But in this same tool, we wanted to give most of the flavors that you can have. So duplicate title, meta tag, meta description, missing issues, all those things that you would get from a traditional SEO like tool, and the issues where and how to fix those. These are also available here. So for teams who want to validate information from two different sources, it's also useful. But the most important part of the tool is having a structured way to collect the information, factory of your ideal buyer persona or your target audience. Then as we develop and use this tool more, we are going to engineer those input into the automation process and get a better and better result. More you use the tool, you get more better result, because your information is getting collected in a structured way and later on fed into the content creation process.
Awesome.
Most important thing I want to mention is that it's not what I think is important, but it's what you as a community think important. So we are developing a Slack community around our tool, and once you buy the deal, obviously you're welcome to join the community. And here we are going to apply the different use cases of the tool and find out in the best way how you are using the tool, creating different workflows. So here we just started with not a lot of content, but I just let you know that our main goal is more develop the tool with the community ideas, and not do what we think is the best, but we what our community think is the best thing.
Very, very good, Harish. Thank you. I will definitely add. I think that this is the new trend. Like people want a business that personalizing what we need. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just perfect. I
Right.
would like, if you have time, Harish, I would like to show you a bit what I have because
Sure.
I have all the tools that you can imagine. So could be
Mm-hmm.
nice, I think, for you as a feedback. And I can
Sure.
show you, but definitely yours is the only one I think that goes so deep in market research.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that definitely is a win. I have one question as well, Harish. The content automation, like I'm gonna be pulling information, that's gonna have an extra cost in the future. Are you gonna have a limit or?
The way I think about is like you have some kind of page limit, but that should not really bind you because this is set monthly to zero. Like you have
Okay.
recurring page limit, and it is just for us an extra safeguard to make sure that we are judicially using the resources of the tool. But the way it will be counted is like you hitting some APIs and you get responses back. So one single response might give you a lot of pages. So that doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
that it's all one page, but we count is one counter, second counter. We are still collecting feedback and optimizing, but we have done some initial research, and based on this, this is what we think good. Maybe we can
The
get some more feedback. We want community to help us, and we develop it together, and not get into a situation where we can't develop it any further. Obviously, these are hard on getting it, but I think with this lifetime deal, we get really, really good feedback, community, and then we have quite ambitious roadmap here to add many things, which I don't want to cover and overpromise right now. But it's just collecting. We are collecting feedback, and we will
Yep.
prioritize based on what, as whole, we think good.
Honestly, the AppSumo community is about that. We
Yes.
take it. I straight away. I take one software. I open a Word and taking notes to give you the feedback, what I think, what I compare, what I. So that's why we are
Yeah.
here, and you
Sure.
give us this opportunity. So okay, I got it. Basically, what I want to show you. Well, this website I did it when I didn't know about SEO. So now basically I'm redoing it completely. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Reviewing everything, every word need to make sense because now I understand. I still need to learn more, obviously. So just to show you where I am. And well, I have this one, but honestly, this one is like imitating keyword planner.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
only benefit I see is that I can collect by project. So basically, I can collect by projects the keywords. It's the only benefit because the rest you can do it in keyword planner. You can see, you see?
Right. Right.
And you can review. So I'm showing you just in case
Yeah.
I can give you ideas of the things of my workflow.
Yeah.
I'm using right now, my favorite right now is a Great Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
Even a blog, if I show you the blog, is so nice. They do it by phases. I don't know if they change it because everybody's doing changes.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's new. So let me just show you this one. So these have a like 40 credits limit, and I understand why. So I did here. Let me go fast. Save copy history. Landing page. Well, look, they have paying agitate solution. It is very good, this one.
Right.
I
Right.
need to say. I'm just showing you how they have it so you can see like
Indeed.
different
Indeed.
things.
Yeah.
At the end, I want to show you the blog, which I found was amazing. But let's see if I did it in CoolMind. Let's see. Landing page. Okay, I will show you the landing page. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look how they present it. They present it like a landing page,
Right.
and they present the view, like
Right.
view.
Right.
Okay, so this is for me the best one that really give you things usable. Unfortunately, I don't find where is the post, but create it very well.
Right.
The next one I want to show you. Well, you have phrase. Do you hear about phrase?
Right. Right.
Okay, so phrase basically what do is to search the topics and the questions in Reddit, and you can write as well. You
Right.
see Google traffic, question ideas. That's more or less what do research as well, but not like you market research. It's just topic research.
Right.
So another finding I discovered recently, well, market muse, I'm not very sure about it. I think I will cancel it, but it's more or less the same. Have something similar of the map of the topics you have.
Right.
Well, let me show you this one. This is a good one, and I think you could be interested to see how they do it. I'm telling you that I'm in the topic.
You're exploring
This,
really different tools, which I have not done yet.
yeah. So hopefully I can give you. So this one is very good, and I will tell you why. Okay, you have the article. Let me open it. Okay, let's open one. So you have the assets, SEO, collaborate, plugins, summary in the same thing.
Yeah,
You have
in the
a
same
workflow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And for example, if I want to write the article, I go to the assets. I already did my research. When I do the research, for example, imagine content marketing. So, I know it's already there. Another thing I didn't show in yours, I cannot put United Kingdom. Do you have the option to put the geography?
Yeah, we are working on it. So we just
Okay.
putting their country and the language options. Definitely, we are on it. Don't we
Okay.
have yet, but we will add it.
Okay, marketing for that because I started and later I cancel it. So what I want to show you here is that you can have in the same space everything.
Right.
You see, add to my link. So I save it. Okay, I have the questions, I have the statistic. I can even grab it to my article. You see,
Right.
I still have the, okay. So later, when I go to, imagine I save it, okay. So I go to content marketing. Well, 1 second, save. But basically the idea will be that when you create your blog, well, something I don't like that they have separate. I would like to have it complete just with, that's, okay, so content marketing. So I can go to my assets. That's what I want you to see. Okay. When you were Eric side showing something, so you can go to your assets and bring it to you imagine you did your keyword list. So this is my blog and I want to bring this. How I bring this? Okay.
Could be copy and paste or something like that.
No, should have a button. I did it in the past. I've been doing practice. Okay, I will copy and paste. But the idea is that you can what the whole point is that you do your research, but also you have access to your research, like you have two computers or two screens. That's the whole point that I want to show you. So this person managed to put everything, like you can kind of, you have content, but you can go to your assets. That's more or less the idea I want to show you.
Yeah. Definitely this worth looking, exploring, see
The
what.
version, paraphraser, SEO, library, notes, research, and you can look, articular relate or all. I can check all that I've been looking for, check what I did, come back. I mean, gonna take a time to use it, but I think if you can, in the part that you will develop in the future, content automation or search engine, if you can access to other resources you already create or competitors could be nice. That's what's the feedback I want to give you.
Exactly. I think I really like the idea, and I can understand from that point that once you're starting content creation, you wanted to pull information from different places like market research from the competitor.
Yeah. Another idea is that, for example, once you take the topic, you want to do, for example, I'm gonna do the toys, no? So normally I want to do first the website. This is the copyright of the website. Later I want to do about questions, all the typical things that have a website. But later I want to do few blogs.
Right.
Later, I want to do social media. Later, I want to do some emails. So
Right.
like if you can like pull, like all the research you do can help you to pull, you can use the same research to pull all this type of content.
Yeah. No, definitely, I get the point, and that's where I think we are collecting feedback. At this stage, we can still pull the information, but not the way that you just showed me. So that's really good idea for us to try and apply that ideas. So thank you for
Yeah.
sharing this.
Anyway, time to time, when I get more knowledge, I can like trying to give
Yeah,
you some
yeah,
input because now
sure,
I'm learning. Honestly, you
sure.
are teaching me more than I'm teaching you.
No, thank you for that. And this idea is to get more feedback and keep continuously developing it. Of course, a different tool has a different background, different
Yeah.
origination, different ideas, and
Yeah. Definitely.
and have different purposes and workflows. Here, our idea is to more get very structured content and then use
Yep.
the structured content in a way which feed into the content automation, and then
Yep.
we can leverage from all the hard work that we did in the beginning. So that's our the main idea.
Honestly, I'm very, very impressed of what you did because it's the first one that take in account the market research, which is so important. Because normally in the other, you are creating content, but you are creating content from your imagination
Yeah, yeah,
or
right.
Google.
So that's the
So
idea. Yeah.
definitely, I love how you did it, and I've been very happy, Harish.
Thank you so much
So
for your words. And definitely at this
thank you.
stage, I'm collecting a lot of feedback, and
In contact.
it will really help us to develop it further. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Harish.